Hello and welcome to this video on revision. It's more of a demonstration of why it's important. So revision basically just means to see again. Yes, it's nice to see you again. So you've written something and you're like, yay, I wrote it, I'm done. Well, if you had a chance to go back and look at it, you realize, oh, maybe I'd want to change this or change that, and maybe this isn't really done after all. So yeah. Writing process main steps. There are three major parts when it comes to writing, and a lot of people don't understand this. You can actually break up the writing process into 7 steps or 100 steps, but the three main steps are: number 1, gathering ideas and doing research. Okay, before you write anything, you have to get an idea about what you're writing about. Okay, if it's a research paper, you have to kind of do some digging and learn some information before you can write on it. Next step is putting the ideas into words. So now that you've gathered your ideas and you've kind of organized them a little bit in your brain, at least know what you want to talk about, then you have to put those ideas into words. Okay, that's the second step. Most students end here. They put their ideas into words and they submit their paper and say, I did it, ta-da! Yeah, well, you're missing a step. The third step is revising the words to be more impactful. This is a necessary required step for writing. A lot of students don't get that. They just want to put down their ideas into words. They hate writing, and they don't understand that revising is actually part of the process. You are not writing properly unless you're doing revision. So to demonstrate this, instead of me being just lecturing you on you gotta do this, let's give you some examples. So to do that, we're going to play a game. It's called Find the Editing Mistakes. So what I'm going to do is show you a series of pictures, and I want you to look at the pictures, and if you need to pause, you can pause, and figure out what they did wrong. So, oh, wait, did you find this one? It's not mistakes, it's mistakes. See? Look at that. Okay, see, I fixed that already. Okay, let's look at the first picture. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to. Okay, so what's wrong here? Well, they have hot dogs for $2. Fantastic. Stadium price is $4. Well, wow, I'm saving a lot. I'm saving a whole dollar. What? Wait a minute. 4 minus 2 isn't 1. Oh my gosh. This is making me wonder, what are they putting in their hot dogs? Okay, or maybe does this guy or this lady, whoever's selling these hot dogs, can they do general math? If I give them a $10 bill, will I get correct? Yeah, it scares me a little bit. Now, so when should they have realized they made this sign incorrect? And they made a mistake. Should they have figured that out before they printed it up and put it on their hot dog cart? Probably. See, they wrote down their ideas into words, but had they actually stopped and gone back to revise and looked at it again and realized, oops, I made a mistake, you probably want to do that ahead of time. All right, let's look at another example. All right, pause the video if you want. Okay, so what's wrong here? Well, you have a one-way street sign and you have the evacuation route going this way. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm asked to evacuate, chances are it's not a nice sunny day and I'm got the music up loud and wind blowing through my hair. I'm probably freaked out, alrighty? I'm not really paying attention. I just want to get me and my family to safety. So if I get to this sign, I'm going to be like, what in the world is going on here? Why? It's evacuation. Well, maybe the one way. Which is it? You know? Okay? And you could say, oh, well, in the case of evacuation, you can go this way in a one-way street. Is this clear from this? Okay? Again, if you are trying to evacuate, chances are you're not thinking real straight. So, when should they have figured out that this sign was bad? Before or after they hung it up? I would say probably before. They should have made this more clear ahead of time. That's an example of a bad mistake. All right, let's look at another one. Okay, so here you have people doing some wonderful spraying of the stuff. Go ahead and pause this if you want. Figure out what's wrong. All right, unpause it. Okay, so even if you're the world's worst speller, hopefully you can realize they spelled school wrong. Okay, so when do you figure out that you've spelled it wrong? Okay, you can see they've got the big things and they're putting up their whatever. Do you figure it out after you've already sprayed it onto the ground with your paint? Or maybe you put down the letters and then double check to make sure you spelled it correctly before you start spraying the paint. Another example of revision. They had an idea what they wanted to do. They put it down, but they didn't double check before they finished to make sure that it was right. All right, another example. Look at this one. Go ahead and pause the video if you want. All right, you can unpause. Now you can say, well, look, there's nothing wrong with this. It's Pizza Hut, and they've got pizza. Okay, well, what's wrong with this? This would be an example of being overly redundant. Duh, you're Pizza Hut. Of course you have pizza. This is actually, I mean, this is going to be funny, but this is also kind of insulting. If you're writing a paper and you're overemphasizing the same point over and over and using the same words, it comes across like, okay, you already made that point. Move on. So this would be an example of keeping everything in place of context. Maybe not just a spelling error, but the fact that you want to make sure that your document as a whole makes more sense and doesn't have these kind of stupid mistakes like this. All right, moving on. Go ahead and pause the video if you want. And you can then unpause it. So what's wrong with this? Okay, so if you're trying to convince people not to touch the wires, that's bad. You've even got the little skulls here. Ooh, scary, okay? Yes, touching wires causes instant death. That scares me, okay? That's enough to scare me away. And it's also a $200 fine. Well, wait. What? What? So, okay. Maybe I'm a millionaire and $200 is chump change for me. I don't care. Here, take my $200. I want to touch the wires. No. Okay, this is kind of contradictory, or even it's kind of minimizing what's going to happen here, and it makes you confused. I'm like, well, $200 is not that big of a deal compared to instant death. Okay, so again, this almost becomes comical instead of it being a serious warning sign. Do you get the point of that? So, remember, when it comes to revision, revision isn't optional. It isn't optional. It is part of the writing process. So, when it comes to writing, yes, I understand that sometimes you don't like to write. You want to just finish that paper and submit it. But no, revision, you go back, revise, see again, go back and see it again, find ways that you can make it better. All right, there you go.